Hello, everybody. Welcome tonight to the call of the 7 mistakes coaches make in their first 12 months. I'm Natasha Denman, and I just wanted to see that everyone can hear me clearly and see the PowerPoint. If we've got more and more people coming through, please ignore the fact that the organizer is Donna Brown. Me and Donna share this account, and I'm Natasha. Hey, Christina, great to see you on the call. Anna, nice to see you as well. So there's quite a few of you still coming through. So I'm very, very excited to be here tonight to present some amazing content of what I have learned over the last 4 years. I'm nearly nearing my 4-year anniversary in business. And as a few of you may know, and some of you new faces or names that I'm seeing here on the list, that I did start out as a coach. So certainly have seen many things repeatedly that work and many that don't work amongst the people that I have helped as well. So very, very excited. A few more hellos coming through from Samantha, Verity and Faye. Certainly, guys, I do encourage you to keep this call interactive. That is where you will get the best value out of me. Make sure that you write lots of questions. I'm going to do my best not to speak as quickly tonight because I tend to just speak. I'll take a few deep breaths here and there and give you some time to catch up on what I'm saying. Hey, Lisa, great to see you as well. As I'm saying, more and more people are arriving. So let me tell you a little bit about my story, because certainly there's a lot of people on the call tonight that I have never connected with, and I'm so glad to see you all here. So it looks like I have done a lot, but it wasn't like this at the very beginning. And I started out, as I said, May 2010, and that was a time of in our lives where we had a big transition within our family. We had worked in optical businesses with my husband for big optical retailers for over a decade, both of us. And one day we had a franchise in one of those businesses, and we had a defining moment whereby my husband made a very poor decision and lost that particular business, of which I found out pretty much overnight. And that was the knee-jerk moment that got me to relook at what I wanted and what purpose I was here to serve, and certainly, got me on the path to become a coach. Now, as a lot of you may know already, a lot of us have those moments when we do decide to do this journey. And it's very much been about helping myself first. So little did I know the journey was about helping myself first and then being able to help others. So when I became a coach, it actually did take me about 5 months to get my first paying client. And my very first year as a coach, I only generated about $7,000 of income. So it was a very slow and hard slog, and I just didn't know what to do to make this a successful 6-figure business on part-time hours that I thought it was going to be. So the defining moment, very much so, in my business was the publishing of my very first book that you can see on this slide here on the bottom left, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss. And that was the book that really boosted my credibility and how professionally I was viewed by people in this particular industry. And then very quickly after that, I rebranded my business. That the old brand is not even visible here. It used to be called PRS Coaching. And I rebranded to Ultimate Weight Loss because I thought it fitted really well with the 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss. And I niched further down to differentiate myself from other weight loss businesses into lose the last 10 kilos, which you can see right there within that particular brand. So it was very much so a trial and error journey with my own mentor. I have had a mentor since 3 months into this journey, and I have am now I'm onto my third or fourth mentor, which is really fantastic, and it's something that's really always kept me growing and held me accountable in terms of the actions that I have taken. Then, as you can see, I operate a few other different brands, mostly under the Ultimate umbrella. where I help people generate products for profit, which is about developing their own products and systems, because I did manage to license the top 2 businesses with systems that people now are able to utilize for themselves with their own clients as something that's quite niched and unique, so it's not general, which is what I was in the very first year, and that's why it didn't work so well for me in terms of what income I generated. And nowadays we take people away on retreats and help them write their own books, because it is very much my belief that your credibility grows tenfold when you actually become a published author. And I believe everyone has everything within them to do that for themselves. So it's been a whirlwind of a journey. And as I said, we're about to celebrate 4 years in business. My husband quit his day job 18 months ago, and he has been supporting me and doing his own consulting and mentoring with myself. And we've got 2 children. There's Judd, who's 5 years old. He just started school. Mika, who's turning 3. And we've got a third one on the way, a bun in the oven, which is due in November. So juggling babies and business is definitely what we do as a family, and we very much value a wonderful lifestyle, as well as, work hard, play hard. Thanks, Abs. Abs is just saying congrats. Thank you. So, you guys, it hasn't always been as successful as it is right now, and we're always looking to stretch and grow. Sometimes you think, oh, when I get to that 6 figures, then I'll be happy, whatever it is. However, it's human nature for us to want to grow and expand and always lift that, to the next benchmark that's going to challenge us. I don't think we are happy to be at a plateau, to tell you the truth. Nicole has just posted a question. Hi, how did you go about finding a mentor? Well, I was going to answer this question a bit later on, but I may as well answer it now. So, how did I find my mentors? Well, I had a look at who was getting the results that I wanted, who had something that I had seen them do successfully that they would then be able to teach me and get me to that point. I also find that people who hire me as a mentor or a consultant are very much, say, 2 or 3 years behind my journey, wanting to get the results that I'm getting right now. So oftentimes I have not actively searched for a mentor. I have actually had my mentors almost come to me as if we have been energetically attracted to one another. You know when that's what they say, when the student is ready, the mentor will appear. That has certainly been the case with me, with all of my mentors, to tell you the truth. I did not go about interviewing 10 different people to work out who I would work best with. I basically stumbled upon them when I was ready for that next level and started working with them. And I am very serious when I am working with a mentor, because I do believe they have the recipe for what I need to achieve within my business, and certainly I follow that recipe to the T. I'm very good at following instructions, and certainly that has enabled me to get results, because if I commit to someone, and at the level where you're committing to different levels of mentors, you want to be doing the work and following through. So the results thus far, you guys, have been that we have helped now over 150 coaches in the past 4 years to achieve amazing credibility in their businesses. And we have helped 25 of them self-publish their books. And my goal is to get to 50 by the end of this year, because our main focus is through building that credibility through the products and the authoring of their niched books within whatever industry they want. So all of this has resulted in a revenue of over $10 million, which is amazing. I feel like I have 150 other businesses out there. So what I'm here to teach you tonight is that you don't have to walk the same path as that we have. It doesn't have to take you that long to get to where you need to go if you have the right tools and the right support to get you where you need to go. And I have made stacks of mistakes. You should have seen the mistakes that I made early on in the business. Some of the marketing that I used to do, like letterbox drops or print media advertising. I mean, all of those things that realistically, they just don't work for the coaching industry. But I didn't know. I had to learn through all of that. So when I do help other coaches and consultants, I certainly know, well, do this, don't do that. That doesn't work at all. So, I have made the mistakes, so I don't want other people to make them at the same time. And actually, you know what? It's about fast tracking the process, and it is about getting some shortcuts to people that can get them there a lot faster. That's what I believe. And that's why I always invest in a mentor, because I know I will get the shortcut and not actually waste a lot of time making poor decisions along the way, because I'm into, well, how do I, reach that very next level in the business right now? And there's a lot of doubts. There's a lot of doubts that we actually as coaches have in our minds. As much as we want to help and make a difference and serve our clients, there's so many things that they go unspoken. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about these things, because it's important to know that what you're feeling right now, or have been feeling for quite a long time, is actually real, and it's still around. So there is this secret unspoken inner dialogue when it comes to coaches. All our little doubts that creep up. Am I good enough to be a coach? Will people pay me, say, $150, $200, wherever you're starting, per hour for my services? These are all the questions that went through my mind. And, I'm hoping that I'm not the only one that has thought this before. Let me know. But, things like, how will people know about me? What is it? Can I do this on my own? Literally, when you start out, you're a solopreneur, in your business on your own, having to do absolutely everything. And, understanding that what we've got, or believing what we've got, is valuable to others. These questions are very real. They're something that keeps popping up. And, sometimes they may pop up from time to time, even if you achieve a certain level of success. Everyone is human. Everyone is going to have those moments where there is doubt. I can remember even at least once a year, I think last year and a little bit of this year, I go through a 2 or 3 week period where I start going, and asking myself some of these questions yet again. So it's natural for us to have those things come up. And it's okay to speak about this, especially if it's with someone that you trust, or it is your mentor, to bring these things up, so that you also have that, sort of outsider perspective and encouragement to, get you to keep going. What I believe what has happened with my mentors is that they have always believed in me. It's very important to have someone believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And I believe my husband also plays a very big part in that. Whenever I'm freaking out, he's my rock. He's the one that will make me feel okay, that everything is going to work out. So these are the things that you just really, we're always looking to overcome. And it's okay if this comes up for you, because it comes up for every single coach out there. So let's go through, some of these mistakes that I have promised you. And, one of the reasons why you want to avoid them, certainly because you want to fast track. And I believe fast tracking is, it's going to remove a lot of, hardship and make your life a lot easier, and even motivate you to do a lot more and grow faster. So by knowing these mistakes, and perhaps you will identify in some of them, and certainly I identify in a few, if not all of them, and have seen every single one of them when it comes to people that I have worked with. You will be able to help a lot more people sooner. So as I said, helping people is what we love to do. This is why we went on this journey to become a coach. We want to make a difference. But in order to make a difference, we have to have a few other things put into place to make that happen. So, with knowing what these are, I trust that you will end up saving your time, your money, and energy along the way, so that you are able to give and add value to your ideal clients. It's very, very important. Any questions at this point in time? While I'm taking a drink of water. I told you I would have a little bit of a breather. Okay, you guys. I'm sure they're going to come up as we go through them. All right, so let's go through. So tonight, what I'll cover off for you is to understand the 7 mistakes, to learn how to overcome them, and to take action towards your business growth from today. I've just had one question come up, which is from Catherine, saying how to seek clients. I will perhaps address that question at the very, very end when we have we will have an open Q&A. I'm happy to stick around as long as possible. I think we need to go through the 7 in order to understand on how to seek clients. I think you'll get a lot of answers throughout the 7 mistakes here, Catherine. So bear with me. I'll leave your question up there to remind me to ask you if I have answered it for you by the end of this. Okay, so let's get stuck into it. The very number one mistake that I have seen with coaches is and myself, don't get me wrong, if I'm saying this with coaches, I'm also putting myself in that boat in terms of myself in early days. So living in the comfort zone, you guys. It's very, very common that coaches start working on the back end of their business, setting up their branding, their business name, their website, their office, all of those things that, certainly are necessary to have a business put together and looking professional. However, they're not essential to go out there and get that first paying client or clients. So living in the comfort zone is a form of avoidance in terms of, putting yourself out there. Certainly becoming a coach, most of the time people are coming out of a day job, and being in a day job, you pretty much, everything is kind of the same day in and day out. And realistically, I've learned in a job, you don't need faith. In a business, you need faith. You need to trust that what's coming around the corner is going to fulfill whatever you need to fulfill within your business. So each and every day when I get up, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Every day is a surprise. Could be a great day, could be a bad day, it could be a bad month, it could be a fantastic month. We don't know, but you have to have faith that things will progress, but that you will also do the things necessary to move yourself forward. So what is it that I started doing? So I started doing 2 scary things per week, okay? 2 scary things, and that could have been going out networking, making an uncomfortable phone call, speaking to someone who perhaps was a potential good strategic partner. So having those conversations that were going to move me closer to that paying client. Certainly, I did a lot of comfort zone kind of stuff where I was locked up in my office for many, many, many hours working out how to do a website, I was actually trying to do the website on my own. Now, did that waste hours and hours and hours of time? So one of the things that I would say, and this is why in each slide I will tell you what successful coaches do, and that is to give you one point of action that you need to go out and take in order to progress in your business. And that is, number 1 is go and network twice a week. Okay, so networking will build obviously your network and the people that you know. Because what I realized is that I didn't know many people when I left my day job, or I certainly didn't leave my day job for 13 months. I was doing both. I was working part-time. I had my son, and I was pregnant with my daughter while I was still working my day job. So I was juggling a lot of things in the first 13 months. It was only once I published the book that I was able to transition out and obviously replace that day job income and be able to move forward. But since the beginning, I certainly must say that I did go out networking very regularly and started expanding who I knew and who they knew, and therefore also defining the clarity around what I stood for. Because we will talk about niching later on, but we are in networking. I discovered my crystal, I guess, vision and in terms of what I stood for. I used to say things like, I help people overcome limiting beliefs and set goals and things like that, all the very simple stuff, but not very specific around what problem I solved. But as I kept saying it and saying it, I kept getting clearer and clearer. I just give a comment here. Abs is saying that, are we getting copies of the slides are recording? Yeah, absolutely. You're getting all of that. I always send that stuff out. So yes, please listen to me. If you don't want to take your own notes, maybe just take notes in terms of insights that you might gain yourself. By listening to this a couple of times, you will pick up different points at different times, because it is something that there's only so much you can pick up, I believe, in any course. So I'm definitely going to send all that out, and a few people who couldn't be here tonight will get all of that. So number one, wrapping it up, you need to step out. And how do you step out? At least give yourself a couple of tasks every week that you will pull you out of that comfort zone, make you cringe, make you sweat, have butterflies in your stomach. And one of those things, and I believe fastest way to pay client, is to go and network twice a week and follow up with those networking connections and build the relationships. It's all about building relationships, especially when you're a coach. So one of your points here, Catherine, is to go and network twice a week at networking events. Number two mistake is they take sporadic action, okay? Especially in the first 12 months, there's this inconsistency in how they do what they do. So sometimes they may go, hammer and tong for 40, 50 hours, maybe more. I was doing probably 70 hours in some weeks. This was certainly not me. I have to say that I didn't make this mistake. I have always, since day one, been very, very consistent, and have always done many, many hours in each and every week of what I was doing. But I find that some people that I have mentored, and or some that I have just sort of been connected to, I'll see them, really, really active on social media, or putting a lot of sort of advertising and marketing out there, and then they disappear for 3 or 4 or 5 months. What happens, you guys, is that when you stop, it takes double the amount of time to build that momentum up. So say you stop for a week, it's going to take you 2 weeks to build that momentum back up. It really is important to be consistent. So if that is 20 hours per week for you that you can focus on in your business, make that 20 hours every single week. I say consistency is king in everything that you do. And you will realize that as your business progresses, you do develop routines and things that you need to be doing consistently over and over. Perhaps you need to schedule regular events or regular workshops that you will do, email campaigns. So at the end of the day, kind of everything becomes a campaign. And you need to be consistent with that in order, if you want to stay top of mind with people, and if you also want people to see you and perceive you as a professional business person that's going to be around for a while and not just for 5 minutes and then disappear off. So what do successful coaches do? They allocate exact time to work on the business consistently. For me, I have scheduled every year. I've gotten better with my time management and how everything is structured. And this year is even to that next level. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I work in my business where I do my consulting and mentoring. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I work on my business. So I work around going networking events. I do my like event organization, whatever it is that I need to coordinate, whether it's any campaigns, things like that, I work on those things. So I cluster my time in activities that are going to give me the most focus on that certain task or activity within the business, so that the other time I feel good about doing, say, the things on the business. So I really have separated those two things. In the early days, you may not be able to do that, because when you're new, you kind of almost bend over backwards to service your clients and make sure they're happy. But as you progress, you will need to get smarter with your time as you get busier, and you will need to segment that. And actually, your clients will need to do what you require them to do, or how they can fit into your schedule, because you then become also more in demand, and therefore you can call the shots a lot more. I trust this is being valuable for you. So let me know if you're getting lots of little hints and tips around this. Okay, number 3. Let me take a drink. This is a big one. And Samantha's saying, I'm loving it. I'm very good. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so mistake number 3 is they rack up tons of educational debt. Okay, so there's so many smart and amazing programs out there. I see them all of the time. And certainly they're marketed in a way that's so attractive. You know, they make it sexy. After all, that's how I teach my clients to make their programs and books. I teach them to make them sexy in order for them to be able to sell and get lots of people onto them. So the mistake that is being made is that there's this constant seeking for that magic bullet. You know, that the next shiny object, you know, that's going to solve their problem. And unfortunately, there's no such thing. I told you about my story and how long, I mean, realistically, the first 2 years, every single dollar that I earned from my business was actually dollars that I had spent on my mentoring or my education. I certainly did a diploma in coaching. I did invest in a marketing masterclass that I attended, and then I had my mentor. Although I never invested in any more than one thing that I had completed. Once I complete one thing, then I can do another thing. So I'm a big believer that you need to implement what is it that you're learning. Because sometimes you get so much valuable information through all of these different entrepreneurs and courses that have stacks of resources. If only you could go through all of those resources. And the fact is, you need to spend the time to actually sift through them, not just sift through them, just really digest them. Just like you have invested your time tonight to listen to this call, I expect that this time that you've invested, that you're going to pull away and walk away with at least 2 or 3 action points that you will implement. There's no point sitting through a webinar if not you're not going to do anything after it. That was also one of my things that I always did, because there was no point in me listening to a class and then not taking any action from it, or at least getting an insight or an aha moment. So I would say the smartest thing to do is to allocate an educational budget of what you're going to do. I'm a big believer in constant and never-ending improvement. However, you don't need to spend $80,000 or $100,000 in the first 12 months as a coach. Perhaps you invest in one course or whatever it is that you're doing, and you go through that and you implement information. Because a lot of the time people walk around saying, oh yeah, I've learned that, I know that. And I go, okay, are you doing it? And they go, oh, well, no, but I know about it. And I go, well, if you're not doing it, you don't know it. Okay. So this is where implementation comes in. It's only when you're doing stuff that you truly know what it is like. And then implementation is huge. So please implement strategies as you're learning them. That's the best way. And be very careful of the scale and the ratio of how much you're consuming versus how much you're creating. What do I mean by that? Consuming is when you're getting a lot more education. You know, we live in the information age. In the information age, we are flooded with emails, with ebooks, with the resources, with this audio, with that footage. A lot of stuff is out there, a lot of valuable stuff. However, at the same time, yes, consume, but also create your own stuff. This is why I created so many programs, wrote so many books, because I wanted them to benefit from what I was consuming as well. So remember, consuming versus creating. How much of a percentage of the time are you spending consuming versus creating? Certainly in the very, very early days, perhaps you're going to be consuming a lot more, maybe 60, 70%, and creating only about 20 or 30%. But as you progress in your business, you need to be making it even, and then changing the scale the other way around. So only consuming about 20 or 30% of the time, and building and creating and implementing 70 to 80% of the time. Remember that percentage, because people just love learning. So, and especially coaches, I have found it. They love education. They love learning. They love reading books. Yet all of that just ends up being, just lays dormant in their minds, and it's not implemented ever. Yet they know a lot of the information that they can create their own programs from it. So very important one. And don't always go for the silver bullet. Usually you do have all the resources within yourself to create what you want to create, and you just need someone to tweak you along on the journey. That is why I've had mentors. My mentors haven't made me do anything aside from maybe share some strategies and tweak me along the journey and give me feedback on how I'm going and how I can perhaps get better and fine tune what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, I think that skipped from 4 to 5. Hang on a second. Where's my number 4? Oh, well, 4's gone. I had number 4. I'll see if I'm sure I checked through this before. Doesn't matter. All good. Behavioral flexibility, as we say. This one's a biggie. Okay. They avoid selling. Okay. So mistake number 1 is they avoid selling. And a lot of people, this is a very big one. You could be the best coach in the world, but if nobody knows that you exist, you will never build a business of any sort. And I have met people like that. I have met such insightful people along this journey that I go, wow, you should be rewarded so much for what you do, but they just don't know how to put themselves out there and actually sell their services. Selling is not a dirty word. Selling is serving, okay? Because you cannot serve your clients unless you sell them the coaching package or whatever it is that you've got on offer to be able to serve and assist them. You cannot help someone in half an hour or an hour. You cannot change their lives. I hope you agree with me, because it is very, very important to be able to work with your clients so that you can share and really go deep with them and help them implement strategies over a period of time for them to be successful in whatever area that you're actually wanting to help them with in. And we're going to talk about niching in a second. So selling skills are super important, and it's something that I believe 50% of our role as coaches is to be great marketers and salespeople, and 50% is our skills in terms of how we deliver what we do as a coach. I certainly have to say that selling was not my strong point. I did work in the retail industry, so I had some practice selling glasses and upselling and all that kind of stuff with people. However, it's sometimes those inner doubts that come up in our mind, like especially getting that first paying client where you're going perhaps from having earned $25, $30 an hour, and now you perhaps as a coach, you're pricing yourself at about 200, 250, maybe more, depends on who you are. It's a big jump. So to overcome that mindset, there's some work that needs to be done there. And if you cannot do it and you've not seen results, again, you need to get someone who's going to help you overcome that. Because money limiting beliefs are one of the biggest things that hold people back from feeling deserving and worthy of being paid for their coaching services. So what do successful coaches do? Well, they learn the magic of selling. They learn how to best provide a solution to where the gaps exist for the client. So it's about identifying gaps and working out what the client needs and values most so that the coaching solution can be provided and to best serve them and see them get those results. And then you get the reward of helping others. So it's super, super important. You have to put this as I think this is one of the number one most important things to improving. Even if you're, research some stuff on how to do it, how to overcome objections. I'm sure there is stacks of books out there and resources and courses that you can have a look at that will teach you on how to improve as a salesperson, and you just keep tweaking it. What works for one person may not work for another person. Certainly you will find your own style and way of selling. However, you will find your way. You just have to test and measure and work out what works for you. And certainly that's what I did from the beginning. Catherine's just saying, does the niche come with time from clients or courses? Yes, so I'll talk about the niche in the next one. So let's move on to the next one, which is number 6. This one, actually, I was gonna here it is. I know what I've done. I think I skipped from 3 to 5 and I have got 2 6s. Okay, just a bit of a typo. So we definitely have 7, guys. Let's pretend this one is number 5. Okay, that one was number 4. Okay, so what niche? Okay, so there's another big mistake. No niche. And can you see my little furry little creature there? I call that fluff. A lot of coaches go out there and they're too fluffy. They're too fluffy. As I said before, they get up and they go, oh, I help people overcome their money limiting beliefs and really work out how to go from where they are now to where they want to be. And I empower them to find the resources within themselves. I could probably go on and on and on and be very ambiguous around what is it that I'm actually solving. So what's the difference between being fluffy and a niche? Okay, well, the difference is that when you're fluffy, you're kind of saying a lot, but you're not really saying anything. Okay, you're not really delving into a solution to a problem. When you have a niche, you provide a solution to a problem. So if you're writing this down or you're not writing, you need to write this down. Having a niche is having a solution to a problem. So where does a niche come from? Good question from Catherine. It can come from a number of areas. How do you discover it? It could be something that you have overcome yourself in the past and that you can now teach people the strategies or coach them through what is it that you've overcome. Perhaps you've overcome some kind of adversity in your life that you can specialize in. Another thing could be that you're really interested in a topic and you can actually go and learn. Like you said, Catherine, you can attend a course and you can research and do a lot of books. I mean, you can educate yourself to become an expert in a niche. That's probably the last thing, I would leave it to in terms of niching. You can look at what is it that you've done in your past professional career and work out, is there a common thread there? Is there a skill that you had learned? At one stage, you guys, I dated retail business coaching because I had come from the retail industry and I was very, very successful in those optical outlets I used to manage and run and treat like my own businesses. So I thought, well, that's an area that I can be very specific around and actually mentor these retail businesses. Soon, though, I realized that I really didn't want to dabble in that industry again. That's why I wanted to leave. So I quickly returned to that, my very first niche, which was the weight loss niche. And then I actually educated myself more and more in that because I was never specialized as, say, a personal trainer or a nutritionist. However, I was positioning myself around mindset and then referring people out to those professionals for the other 2 areas, which were around nutrition and fitness. So it was a niche that I didn't know heaps about, but I did learn through a lot of books and through obviously the mindset coaching, which is very transferable into any particular niche that you want to solve a problem for. So another area niche could come from is you can start noticing who you're attracting and what sort of problems are they bringing to you. So there's a few different areas. So you see what clients you're attracting and what is it that they're asking from you. So remember what I said in the beginning, how I picked my mentors and coaches. I picked them because I could see the results in them that I wanted for myself. So perhaps ask yourself the question, what are my clients or potential clients or maybe even pro bonos seeing in me that they want for themselves? Ask yourself that and work out perhaps where is it that, what strength within you are they seeing? this came to me became very relevant for me when I developed my second niche, which was the ultimate business edge, create products for profit. I had written a book and I had written a program, and that was in the first 18 months of my business. And very soon after that, I started getting all these people approaching me and saying, Nat, how did you write a book? How did you develop this program? What are the steps? And I would have a conversation with them. But again, I couldn't help them in an hour or chat. So then we started working together on me mentoring and holding them accountable in terms of getting them their products and books put together and brought out into the marketplace. So that's how I found the second niche. It found me. I knew it had something to do with business coaching. However, I didn't know what was really specific about it. And then after months of thinking and pondering and going back and forward with my mentor, one night as I was falling asleep, I said, oh my God, people seeing me, product creation, people seeing me that I can help them and assist them in writing their own book. So that is what I stand for. And that is the problem I can help solve, because I've solved it for myself. So certainly then I can help others learn it and fast track it and shortcut it for them. So that's how I would look at niching, and I think it is necessary. I don't think there's you need to put excessive pressure on yourself to come up with it in the first few weeks of being a coach, or even the first few months. Certainly, though, as I said to you earlier, in mistake number one, it was about consistently clarifying my message over and over and over again with what I was saying at networking events, that I arrived at the weight loss niche. Anna's just said, how soon do you need to niche? I wouldn't say you need to niche very soon, but I would say 6 months plus would be the time where I would be defining myself as something and trying it on. As I said to you before, it's okay to date a niche. You know, when you date a niche, you just try it on and see how it fits. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You're not going to make the perfect choice every single time. You will have times where it's spot on and you've made a great decision and you stick with it, and other times you may need to change it. The important thing is not to be too precious on anything. That is what my first mentor said to me. When we were changing from PRS coaching to ultimate weight loss, lose the last 10 kilos, he said to me, Nat, what does PRS coaching really stand for? And I said, oh, no, I've been around. That's been my brand for the last 13 months. I've been standing up and saying I'm this brand. They say, don't change your brand. If once people get used to it. But he said, what does it really stand for? Do people understand what problem you're solving? And I said, I guess not. And then he said, don't be too precious on anything. If it's not working, change it. Have that behavioral flexibility to change it. And it's okay to change. At least you're making decisions. The very important thing to do, you guys, is to make a decision. Successful coaches make decisions fast and change them slow. I'm a very, very fast decision maker, very fast. I don't ponder and think. And like, if I believe it's got value, something has got value in it, I will invest in it. If I believe it's going to get me to my goal a lot faster, I will do it, and I will commit 100%. My time, my effort, my money, I will have skin in the game, because you know what? When you have skin in the game, you're going to do the work. You're going to do the work no matter what. Because, I don't know about you, but I don't like wasting money. I don't like investing in things and then not following through. So that has been one of my strategies. So what do successful coaches do? They specialize in a business that solves a specific problem. So whenever you pick a niche, ask, what problem am I solving here? And be very specific, or maybe even ask someone else, do you understand? Or is this really, really ambiguous and fluffy yet again? Okay. So avoid fluffiness. So here we go. We're going into 6 again. As I said, this is our real number 6 mistake. And that is, the mistake coaches make is that don't build credibility. And I've got that hot air balloon there on the right hand side. And the hot air balloon is all about a little story that I had a partner. Well, I have a partner in that Ninja Business Chicks brand, and you know, Donna, the person that I shared this account with, her dad said, "Oh, you girls go out there and just sell hot air. Can't believe people pay you to sell hot air." You know, and it's important to have something backing what you do. And you know me from the beginning of this call, I have said to you, is I found it really hard to just, you know, say sell myself as a you know, a person who provided an intangible service. So how I overcame that is, and how people started to take me seriously, as you know, is that I wrote that first book, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss. And then I further developed this system here that you guys can see sort of in the middle of the screen, which is the ultimate weight loss business in a box. I created the system where I ended up then having about 30 coaches in Australia and one in the US that are now using it as a system to run with their clients. And then I further developed the Ultimate Business Edge, create products for profit business in a box. So I built and built more products and books because that was the thing that really got people's attention. Let me just stop for a second. There is a couple of comments. Danielle says, I'm a blogger and it took me nearly 2 years to know what my full niche is and was. There you go. I even had a big insight around the weight loss niche only a year ago, because I thought that my avatar, my ideal client, you guys, for lose the last 10 kilos, you know, wanted to be healthier and all that sort of stuff. Little did I realize it was actually all about vanity. It was actually all about being, you know, noticed and center of attention and all that kind of stuff. Because guess what? The avatar was actually me 10 years ago, because I had lost 10 kilos 10 years ago, which I didn't even realize. This is why I was attracting this niche. The penny dropped. Sometimes, you know, you don't get full clarity until much later on. And you get those moments and I go, oh, wow, that's cool. Christy's just asking, Nat, how far into your coaching journey should you have a product? What if you're not 100% sure of your niche? Can you still create product? Yes, you can still do that. And there's no time early enough that you can do it, or you know, it's never too early. I started writing the book 6 months in. So this book came out 13 months in, but I wrote it 6 months in. And as you know me, as I said, weight loss was not my, you know, expertise. It was a smart business decision to go into a niche where people were willing to pay money to have a problem solved. Okay, because you got to consider that about a niche, you guys. You got to ask yourself the question, are people, yes, people have the problem in this niche, but the second question is, do they have enough money to solve the problem, and will they pay to have a solution to this problem? Very, very important. So it's never too early. And guess what? Some of your products can be reused or repackaged to apply to a specific niche. So you see here the Ultimate Weight Loss, Ultimate Mindset Success Program. Guess what we did? We've got a couple of programs in this business in a box, but then in this one here, we've got the Product Generator Manual, but we also have the Ultimate Mindset Success Program, which guess what? It's the same program as in the weight loss, but it's all with business examples. So we what's the word that they say? Repurposed. That's the word. We repurposed the content because mindset is transferable. So then we gave both these niches 2 programs that they can run with their own clients. So yeah, re-engineer, Alan said. That's true. Can a blog be a product? Not really. I like products when I can touch them and feel them. I certainly think and believe you can have online products, and I encourage you to have e-versions and all of that sort of stuff. But I do love the credibility tangible products give you. So to have both is much more powerful. Christy says, what options are available for products to create if your budget doesn't allow 6,000 plus to publish a book? Would it work to write a book with another coach? Yeah, certainly you can team up with 2 or 3 people if they're sort of aligned, and you can split that cost amongst yourselves. Certainly a book that you've just written is going to give you more credibility. But you know what, Christy, I think at the end of the day, I'll tell you guys what I've realized. The time and money are just an excuse. It's about what you value. And this is one of the unspoken things that a lot of people come up with. I just can't afford that, or I can't do that. If something was really important to you, you would say, how can I afford it? Or can I afford not to do this? Because I can tell you right now, we're investing in our mentor, and it was easy for me to say I can't afford this mentor. Even the thought crossed my mind, but I said, Nat, it's not really about that. It's not about that. It's do you actually back yourself that what you're going to do with this person is going to propel you forward, and do you back yourself and know and trust and within yourself? So I think time and money are an excuse, and I often, when I have that objection come up in my mind, that unspoken objection, I always know that it's something else below that that's causing it. And then I reassess and I go, what's really the issue here? What is really the issue here? And it's not about you don't have time or money. Perhaps maybe you don't value it. You don't value doing that as much. So I would think about that. I'm just putting it out there. Sit with it. You don't have to tell me right now. But I think we always use that as the easy way out. And there's other ways, as you said, you can team up with people and make it happen for yourself in another way. 7, we've already touched on this a lot. Mistake number 7 is they do not have a mentor, one-on-one mentor. I have said to you guys that from the beginning, we have had one. I have had one since 3 months into my journey. I heard when I became a coach, they said, coaching gets you from A to B the fastest way possible. And I took that as being my belief. And I went, and the mentor turned up when I was ready, and then so did the second one, and so did the third one, and so did the fourth one as time progressed. And I'm so happy to say that, with each one I have grown and propelled to the next level. And it's one thing that I truly, truly believe in, that is valuable. We've got, Faye has just said, we will always find a way to do what is important to you. Yeah, we always, don't we? We always find a way. So we will always spend the most money and time on our highest values. Just look at what your highest values are, and generally that is where you're spending most of your time and most of your money. So because I've touched on this one quite a bit, I would say, what do successful coaches do? They have powerful coaches who are leading them that are ahead of the game. So have a one-on-one mentor. I strongly recommend it. Catherine, I'm just touching back on your question. Have I addressed some of the points on how you seek clients? So the most successful marketing strategies for me as a coach have been the networking, as I said, running my own workshops, certainly creating my products and books to establish credibility, and social media has been fantastic. Belinda says, is the place you get coaching certificate from important? That is it better to get from a certain institute or go with one that feels right, or even get started before qualifications? Yeah, I'd get started before qualification. Not one person has actually asked me for my qualifications, Belinda. Not one person. They're up on my wall. I've got all the qualifications, but not one person has ever asked me for them. And certainly I started coaching even before I actually went. Yeah, cool. Catherine says, yes, I've been very thorough on her question. Thank you. Oh, that's great to know. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I want to help you take your credibility to the next level. And I actually don't want to work with anyone that is not serious about committing in their business. So what I have done tonight is there is no investment in completing a 30-minute strategy session with me. I'm actually just going to take this off. I want to send you this link via a message. I'm just going to, I can't put it in. Why can't I put it in? All right. You're going to have to copy it off my screen because for some reason I'm actually not able to type it into the question box. And I don't know why that is. So you guys, while I've got the slide open, just write it out on your, Oh, here we go. Thanks, Anthony. He's put in the thing for me. I appreciate it very much. I don't know why I can't put it in, but this particular strategy session is for those people who are serious to moving their business to the next level, and they want that clarity to the next steps of their business. So I like to work with people who are committed as much as I'm committed to their success, because I want to get results. You can see some of the authors that were recently published, and I love helping people who know that we're not here for a magic bullet solution. We're actually here to implement strategies and take action so that we get results over a certain period of time. So I'm going to be around. I'm going on a holiday in a couple of weeks' time. So I have opened up some time slots in that time trade link, which you guys can go along to and book in a 30-minute strategy session. And we will go through and identify how you can take your business to the next level. And also, if you would like, there is a gift I have for you. And this is at my Ultimate 48-Hour Author website. You can go on there and actually grab 3 easy steps to write your book in 48 hours. That's an ebook that we've put together, my husband and I, that's got the core strategies of how you can do that for yourself. So you can go along there and actually claim it now, and that's available for you as a gift. So what I'll do now is I will, it's open Q&A time. I might just put it back up to this one in case someone is copying down the code. So we've got about 4 or 5 minutes, and I always leave a little bit of time to answer any questions that have popped up that you have, you need more clarity around. And let me know, maybe what was your aha moment tonight? What was the one action that you will take away and implement for yourself? And or perhaps what is it that you learned that maybe you didn't know before? So let's get started. So okay, so Angela says, I really don't like the idea of selling. How do I get around this? Okay, I don't think any coach, not many anyway, love the idea of selling. And, as we have heard around the place, a lot of people say, just you're going to have to get over yourself and perhaps look deep down within yourself. Where are your money beliefs sitting? How do you feel about, money? Do you love money? What sort of stuff did you hear when you're growing up? Could you work with someone? And so that you can also reframe that, selling is serving, truly, truly. Catherine has said, is it better to have some money to start a business? Well, of course, money does help. Resources do help to start a business. I didn't start with anything, Catherine. We did it with our cash flow that we had through my husband was working full time and I was working 3 days a week. I made do with everything. I often have various strategies that I'll share with my clients that cost low cost or no cost around building their business. So if you feel that you need to get a loan, a business loan, there is obviously avenues to do that. But certainly, resources and money enable you to do more things. And certainly as your business grows, you will increase in your cash flow and you'd be able to invest a lot more in what you want to do and how you want to become more professional. Verity says that I actually have to sell and believe in the niche has found me. Yeah, true. True. Actually, you do have to sell. Samantha says the product creation. I'm started working on a workbook for my clients and I'm glad you clarified it. Great. Fantastic. Alan says, did you find that working your job as well as coaching when you started slowed the process down? A little bit. However, as I said, I made up a lot of it about through working nights and early mornings, and whenever my child slept, I was very determined, and I knew that I couldn't sit on my butt and do nothing if I really wanted to make a good go of this, and actually gave myself a 2-year time frame to really give it a red hot go. After which time I was going to reassess where I was at if I wasn't making any progress. And certainly about 18 months in is where my turning point, well, not 18, probably 15 months in, came about. And from there, it just kept growing and growing. So it's more challenging. although I was lucky that my job was a Sunday, Monday, and a Thursday. So, but then again, I had my child who wasn't in any care in the other day. So I was juggling really a child um, and, and business and all that. But I did it. You know, you'd somehow go, how am I going to do it? But you do it. Nat told me today, and the face saying Nat told me today that it is not selling, it is providing a service, and totally is. It is providing a service, you guys. Anna, thank you. Natasha, so much appreciate. I have to go. I have another webinar. That's cool. Belinda said, my two favorite takeaways, look at the consuming versus creation. Yep, creating more as time goes on rather than perpetual information collection. And number two, niche, providing a solution to a problem. Beautiful. Well said, everyone. I trust that you have enjoyed and received value on this call. I wish you all the best in your businesses. For those of you that have already booked in, which I have seen a few emails come through, I look forward to connecting with you in that strategy session. And have a fantastic night. And I'm sure I'm going to catch you somewhere else. Thank you for all the thank yous that are coming through. Thanks, Christy, Faye, Lisa. We'll see you next Thursday. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'll see you on Thursday, Samantha. You're welcome, Christina. Thank you, Anthony. And great to see you on the call. Thanks, Alan, Catherine, and Sam again. So have a great night, everyone. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.